Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Enneagram Fox and I am a type 4, just trying to be a happier human. Today we are going to continue the How Do I Know I'm a Type 4 series. But first, I do want to remind you guys that if you would like to discuss the Enneagram, if you would like to grow and just as a human and use the Enneagram as a tool for self-growth, which is a huge part of what it is, then please visit my website, enneagramfox.com. Sign up for just $5 a month to be in my Enneagram collective, which I'm not sold on that name, but that's fine. We can switch it up later if we need to. Also, I want to tell you guys about something that's really cool. So I have a Buy Me a Coffee page. It is buymeacoffee.com/EnneagramFox. So on this website, you can literally just give like $3 to $5. I think you can do your own amount, whatever you want, but you can also do like a monthly contribution. So literally you could give like $3 a month, $5 a month, $7 a month, whatever you want. If you're interested, you can support me on a monthly basis through Buy Me a Coffee. Let's get back to the topic for today. So many years ago, when I was exploring the Enneagram and trying to figure out what type I was, I don't remember if I had landed on type 4 yet, but I do remember going on Instagram and finding your Enneagram coach. And the person behind that is Beth McCord. And she talks a lot about childhood messages. Now, I know I've brought up before that I thought I was a type 2, and I don't exactly remember the message for a type 2. I know it has something to do with like being wanted. I do remember the childhood message for a type 4 is like you are too much, or maybe like you are not enough. It can kind of go both ways because, and I have a whole series about childhood messages. A childhood message is like direct or indirect communication from your childhood. So especially for a type 4, we are kind of dealing with like a feeling, an overall sense that you had as a kid. And I've said this a little bit before, I venture to say that like your type and your childhood message kind of came across to you at an age like under 5. I say that because developmentally, you grow a lot in your first 5 years of life. So anyways, to get back to the story, I heard the childhood message for type 4 was this like, you are too much. And generally, this message was conveyed when there was some kind of loss that happened for the child. Now, sometimes it was like a true loss, like the death of a parent or a sibling, or even just like a divorce that happened, maybe a parent just left. It could also be something that might not seem like a big deal, like the birth of another child. And I know for me, upon hearing this, I immediately thought of when I was 3 years old, my sister was born. And after that, it became very difficult to gain the attention of my parents. Now, obviously, in the first year of my sister's life, my parents had to pay attention to her. You know, she couldn't even walk on her own. So naturally, this happened. However, in my very young mind, I perceived this as losing my parents. I perceived this as rejection and maybe even abandonment. And this perceived loss is something that I've carried with me my entire life. I have always had a fear that everyone is going to leave me. And naturally, as an adult, I have a lot of friends from high school, college, even my 20s, who I did kind of lose. They moved away. I moved away. It happens, it's natural. But it's hit me in a way that I've realized it doesn't hit other people. Not to say that people who are not type 4s are totally fine with, losing friends, but I feel like I've I have internalized it more than I should. Something else that goes with this childhood message is that a lot of type 4 adults now do this like push-pull dynamic in relationships. What this means is that it becomes very easy for type 4s to say that they love you, but then maybe are emotionally distant, but then they'll come out again and show some kind of care for someone, but then they'll like go back inside themselves again. And it comes from this fear that if they are too much, too loving, too caring, too attentive, that you will leave them. And so there's this like, I love you, and now I'm terrified that you're gonna leave me. Okay, they haven't left me. I love you. Oh, but now I'm not sure because I've just done it twice. Also, there's a lot of low self-esteem in type 4s because they do feel like they are too much, too emotional, too expressive, to fill in the blank. I have always felt this way. In fact, when I read from Beth McCord, her, the things that she's written about childhood messages, I felt shame, I felt embarrassment, because that has literally been my entire life. I have had friends who I thought were so great and so amazing who did walk away from me. And I internalized it so deeply and I hated myself. And I blamed it on myself. And I will say 9 times out of 10, I didn't do anything wrong. It was just like me having this like fear that they hated me and that I was too much and I drove them away. Now, all of this to say, it has made relationships, friendships, any kind of relationship just very difficult because I am constantly talking myself through this push-pull dynamic, this low self-esteem, because I don't want that to affect my relationships. I am constantly in fear that my internal fear, this rejection, this being too much and driving you away is going to happen. And so having like that fear, and I think anyone with any kind of fear in a relationship would probably say that it's very difficult to enjoy someone else when you're just afraid that they're gonna walk away from you. Or it's just hard to enjoy anyone when you always have a fear of something bad happening. I am constantly having to remind myself that not only is it okay to be me, but if someone doesn't like me, then I should probably just walk away. And I've definitely been a little rash in that area before. I had a friend in college who I felt like she was annoyed with me, and I think she was, but I don't think it was because of me. I think maybe something else was going on in her life. Like for example, we were in college, it was a very stressful time for us, and we were friends, but like from a long distance. And so I think she was stressed and maybe kind of put that stress on me and just showed it as like she was annoyed with me. And so a part of me not internalizing that was that I literally walked away from our friendship and I don't think I ever spoke to her again. Now that was me making a very rash decision. However, I've also had times where I think I've been a little better. Once in my 20s, after I knew my type, I did have a friendship where I really felt like she just didn't like me anymore. And so I confronted the situation. I looked at facts and not my feelings. And my friend did not appreciate the fact that I had this issue and did not agree that it was an issue in our friendship. And we both kind of walked away from the friendship, and it was really hard. And it definitely played into my fear of me being too much and driving you away, because it's, in a way, that's kind of what happened. However, I also realized I didn't do anything wrong. She just didn't like what I did. And I don't blame this person for it. It's okay. It's okay not to like what someone does, even if it's not like morally wrong to do, or even a wrong towards her. I mean, I wish this person no ill will, but that's just kind of what happened. So knowing what I do know about the Enneagram, that situation I felt like went the best that it could possibly go. And I'm very glad that I did understand push-pull dynamics and my tendency to do those things, because I feel like that friendship would have gone on and there would have been more ill will on my part built up. Even though I know I said I didn't wish her any ill will, and I don't, but I think I would have if I had continued in the friendship and didn't continued like the push-pull dynamic. But instead I stopped it, and then it did eventually stop the friendship, but again, it's okay. I'm fine with it. So anyways, I do hope that was helpful for you guys. We get to talk about stuff kind of like this in my Enneagram collective. So again, if you're interested, just sign up on my website. And thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna do at least one more video about being a type 4. And I will see you guys next time.